Hello. So I bought these Vivobarefoot trackers and I wanted to do an honest review on them. I hiked for about 4 or 5 days, about 10 miles in these boots. So it wasn't that strenuous of a test. It wasn't that long, but I think it was enough to show me why I will be sending them back. I haven't been able to find a lot of reviews about these boots, and a lot of the reviews that I have found didn't have much testing or didn't mention the issues that I've had. And I'm going to be inserting some clips of me hiking. So you'll have those clips so you can see what kind of terrain I was on while I was wearing these. So this is the textile, and this is that vegan textile. It's supposed to be the waterproof version of the tracker, and I will be sending them back for a few reasons. One of the reasons that I found, which is not the biggest one, is this gusseted tongue here. So you can see the gusseted tongue comes up to about here, and my problem that I find is that when the tongue goes down, it almost creates this funnel that starts down here at this level that just makes the water shoot up into the shoe. I had a lot of issues with these shoes flooding while walking across creeks that I feel like they shouldn't have flooded in. The first day I wore these, I did step in a creek that I thought was more shallow. They did flood completely. I will say that when they were wet, they were very warm. That might be because I was wearing wool toe socks. It might be because of the shoes. It might be because of a combination of those things. But I was wearing wool toe socks, completely flooded them. They were soaking wet. Got back to the van, they were soaking wet. They dried out very quickly. Over the evening, it was about 30 degrees, and it was nighttime, so there wasn't a lot of sun. I was able to take out the insole. I was able to open it up really wide and let them air out. By morning, they were practically dry. So that is a bonus. That was the first day. Second day, I made sure that I didn't step in anything that was too deep so I could keep the water around here. I still had a problem with water flooding into the shoe. That might have been the way I walk. It might be the creeks that I was in. But even when I was trying to walk in water that was about here, I found that the water just kind of shot up this gusseted tongue, almost like it was a funnel into my shoe. Now, third day, I wanted to be very careful to make sure that I didn't flood the shoe. Even though they were warm and felt comfortable when they were wet, I don't want wet shoes. So, third day, I was hiking. I found myself walking on tiptoes like this across streams to try and prevent that flooding from happening. So, I would be walking like this. Now, I think that this might have been part of the reason for the biggest issues with these shoes, but that shouldn't still happen to me within 10 miles of walking in shoes. I still had separation issues. After 10 miles and 5 days, I was already showing separation here at the corners of these shoes. And to me, that's just unacceptable. I do think that part of that separation might have been happening because I was walking on my tiptoes. So it was when the shoe was under the most amount of stress, it was being bent, this rubber was already pulling apart, and then I was walking through creeks, so that water was going into these cracks and causing additional separation. Now, maybe it wouldn't separate any more than this. There's no way for me to predict that, but it's just not a chance I'm willing to take. Besides that, the grip was really good on these. These front lugs up here, I'm already missing a couple of them where the rubber has detached from the base of the shoe. Based on my hiking here, around this toe area, especially on this shoe. It already looks like that rubber has been bitten into and has flaked off. These are all the reasons why I decided I'm going to send them back. Now, I'm not just a Vivobarefoot hater or anything, because I am a Vivobarefoot lover. I actually have 5, 6 pairs of Vivobarefoot shoes. I have more than that even now. I've had a lot of Vivobarefoot shoes, and I have never sent a pair back after wearing them. I love Vivobarefoot. And this is a pair that I have had for 5 years. I love them. I'm just now experiencing separation. The same amount of separation I see in the toe here in the crease is the same amount that I'm seeing in this pair that I just bought and I've only done 10 miles in. And just now am I starting to get separation around like the heel of the rubber. So I don't know what to say about that. I'm not a Vivobarefoot hater. I love Vivobarefoot. I'm really disappointed in these. I'm disappointed that that tongue allows that water to shoot in. I'm disappointed that the sole is already starting to separate after 10 miles. Another thing I'm disappointed in is I did find that on like the 4th, 5th day of me just going out every single day and hiking, previously when the shoe got completely wet, it dried quite quickly. By that 4th, 5th day, it was not drying anymore. And ironically, that 4th, 5th day was the day when I was in the most sunlight and had the most warmth. So I got done with the hike that was along the creek, and I was hiking back up towards the van, and during that time I noticed that there was like this wet spot right here, and this wet discoloration spot did not go away, and it continued to feel wet. The inside of the shoe actually felt wet, even though there was no flooding that happened on that day. So it really feels like if these are waterproof, they are something that will need to be touched up often with some type of waterproofing to keep them that way. But that crease is, and that separation in the sole is enough for me to send these back now. Besides that, I didn't have any rubbing. I enjoyed the style of them. I thought that they were very grippy. They were very warm without being too warm. Besides those two main things that I talked about, which I think are very big issues, especially for the price point of these, which are $250, I was happy with them. What I got instead is the Vivobarefoot Forest ESC. These are leather. You can see here that gusseted tongue feels like it's a lot higher. I also think, I haven't worn these out yet, so I am unsure, but whenever you cinch down these laces, they seem to tighten around that tongue a lot more, maybe because it's leather. It makes it to where it can cinch down a lot better than these ones, where it just doesn't really just like form around itself. There's still this gap in the tongue even when you have it cinched down, but I've got these ones. These have a side stitch, which I'm hoping will help the durability of them and help keep them together no matter the element. I wish that they side stitched these shoes. If they side stitched these shoes, I think they'd be perfect. I understand that the reason why they don't side stitch these shoes is because of waterproofing. I am not a shoe expert, but from all the reviews I've seen about these shoes, people say that they are still waterproof with a side stitch. So if these shoes can be waterproof with a side stitch, I think these could be waterproofed with a side stitch. But I am not a shoe designer. I am a shoe wearer. I really enjoy the style of these. The reviews for these are great, so hopefully they'll be good. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and share my honest review of the new tracker from Vivobarefoot and warn or tell some other people about the issues that I'm having, so I can hopefully help you make a decision as to what you want to get for your own shoes. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I have not made a product review before, even though I am a big gearhead for travel gear. So I'm going to be trying to make more reviews about travel gear. I have a lot of travel gear. I love traveling. It's the only thing I spend money on. So if you'd like to follow me to have some more gear reviews, to see some of my traveling, that would be great. I hope that this review has helped you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'd be happy to answer them for you based on what I've experienced. So if you don't mind hitting that like button, the subscribe button if you want to see my face again. Subscribing is free and liking is free. You might even just get some like nice energy from the universe for helping out someone. The first day that I wore the shoe, I stepped in a big pile of dog. And I will say that the tread pattern on these shoes are really good for cleaning the tread. And I was standing in the middle of the night on the side of a river with a stick, clearing out the tread, and then a toothbrush and just dunking it in the water. And all of that came out quite easily, quite well. Coffee, brain. Walter, can you stop, please? Yes, I love you. Can you stop, please? Nope, that's not an invitation. Oh, yes, I love you. Yes, I love you. No, thank you. Nope, go lay down. Go, go, go. Oh, there's a good boy. All right. Catch you on my next review.